The two most compared World War II milsims are Hell Let Loose and Post Scriptum. But what did comparisons miss? Reviewers focused on audio design, graphics, and overall immersion while ignoring the functional aspects of gameplay, such as gunplay and environment. With that being said, let's go into our comparison. Hell Let Loose just doesn't incentivize comms. People can play freely and still win the game. It also has crossplay, which means there are a lot of people on console without microphones. Since everyone can ping, they can simply ping a target, a building, or a tank without needing to speak. Therefore, people just forget about comms entirely and use the ping system. In Post Scriptum, you have so many specialized kits that require working together in order to wipe spawns, tanks, and win objectives that you need everyone making callouts consistently. The team that doesn't communicate as well will almost always lose, whereas in Hell Let Loose, it doesn't make much of a difference in public servers, as the game flow is based on quantity of players in the cap zone without a ton of moving parts around it. The comms in Post Scriptum create an intense and unparalleled immersive experience. Guns in Hell Let Loose behave similarly. There's no zeroing, so it is total guesswork once you pass distances of 100 meters plus of how high you have to place your sights in order to hit the target. Since you have no feedback, you have to continue shooting until you hit the target using trial and error and micro-adjusting your sights. There's also no tracer and barely any dust kick-up, so it is near impossible to tell how far off the target you are. The ballistic system is non-existent. Ballistics and Post Scriptum are impressive. You get feedback on every shot. You can see the muzzle flash and the tracer clearly. And you can see the dust kick up, so you know exactly how far off the target you are. Zeroing also gives you great comfort at specific distances to help hit those longer distance shots.
Oh yeah, I just saw him in the distance.
Ooh, he just got fucking domed.
Coming up that hill.
Hey, I see them pushing us. Vaulting in Hell Let Loose can be a frustrating experience. You can't use a lot of backyards or walls due to invisible walls. The game really constrains your movement. It makes it hard to find great spots or flanks or cut off routes. By comparison, Post Scriptum gives you complete freedom of movement. You can hop over any wall and use any backyard, which makes surprise attacks and flanks extremely powerful.
We kept the point.
Hell Let Loose map design causes meat grinder funnels. Due to the nature of invisible walls, buildings you can't enter, and hedges that cannot be used, and therefore create long barriers, people can sit on an angle and simply wait for enemies to appear at the end of a hedge and kill entire squads without ever having to move out of the spot. Since hedges and bushes can't be entered, you can't counter someone holding a position or angle at a long distance and pick them off to help your team move up. In Post Scriptum, any hedge can be used. You can have multiple enemies sitting concealed across various hedges and picking off enemies, and you have full freedom of movement to use hedges as concealment to move up on offense or defense or flanks. The fact you can use hedges also gives you the advantage of triangulating far off enemy positions and picking them off while concealed so your team can move up.
Medic, watch out in this trend.
While buildings look beautiful and immersive in Hell Let Loose, roughly 90% of buildings can't be entered. You can't cut through buildings, which means you're forced to take 90-degree angle flanks. On maps like Quarantine, you'll run really long alleyways fully exposed to enemy line of sight because you can't avoid it. This creates the illusion of being in constant gunfights, but in reality it is poor functional design because it doesn't give the player freedom of movement to create organic gunfights. Every building in Post Scriptum can be used. This creates dynamic engagements. You'll have exhilarating gunfights with multiple enemies in buildings and windows, while also being able to flank various areas and concave with infantry using every route possible. Gunplay in Hell Let Loose is extremely simplistic, casual, and easy. It's a point-and-click system with very little difficulty. Guns have almost zero recoil on them, no semi-auto function, no auto function, and no zeroing. SMGs and LMGs are virtually unstoppable. You can wipe full squads over and over again just by quick tapping in CQC as fast as your heart desires with almost no recoil whatsoever. The fact you can't use auto on SMGs and LMGs is also very disappointing. While it's an easy system for casual play, calling Gunplay milsim in Hell Let Loose is misrepresenting the genre, as Hell Let Loose is far closer to more casual World War II shooters such as Call of Duty or Battlefield. In Post Scriptum, guns have their strengths and weaknesses, and you have to adapt your gameplay style to fit the type of gun you're using. They all behave very uniquely with varying recoil patterns and distance management. Certain weapons are far better in specific situations. SMGs can be countered with smart play, positioning, pathing, and concealment. You can use every gun to its advantage by playing at its proper engagement distance. For example, bolt actions are great in concealment using hedges and also holding angles behind buildings and in windows, while SMGs have varying strengths. The MP40, for example, doesn't have zeroing and isn't great at range, but shreds in CQC and mid-range. The STG is a do-it-all S-tier weapon where you can semi-auto at any distance, but also switch up to auto to go on massive kill streaks. The bar, when compared with say the STG, is really poor on auto due to really uncontrollable recoil after the first burst, but it is deadly accurate on semi-auto at all ranges. Given everything you've heard today, do you agree? Disagree? Feel free to comment below and give us your thoughts.